Steel Talks, a podcast by ArcelorMittal, hosted by applied futurist Tom Cheesewright. In this final episode of our mini-series on ArcelorMittal's strategic growth plans, Tom talks to Kleber Silva, Chief Executive of ArcelorMittal Mining, about how mining fits into our overall group strategy. Joining Kleber are Mapi Mobwano, CEO of ArcelorMittal Mining Canada, and Michiel Van Der Merwe, CEO of ArcelorMittal Liberia, who talk about our operations in Canada and Liberia, their future prospects, and the exciting growth projects underway at both operations.
Kleber, let me start with you. Tell me about ArcelorMittal's mining business, because there are both integrated mines in some parts of the world and standalone mines elsewhere. Is that right?
Yes, they're right. We have 8 mines all over the world, in Brazil, in Ukraine, in Liberia, in Canada, in Mexico, in Bosnia, and some of them are linked to the steel business in order to control cost, in order to have the quality the steel business need. And 2 of them, Liberia and Canada, are for the whole world, for our steel business, for the different plants that we have, and to serve the steel industry in the world. And this is the mines that we are managing and that we are growing.
And why is mining important strategically to ArcelorMittal right now?
Because it is the reason to be, or what I mean is reason to be, because we cannot have a steel business competitive if we do not have the integrated path. And this is extremely important for ArcelorMittal, that we cannot expose the steel business to the volatility, to the price, because we have the mines to support. The mines that will feed our plants and the mines that grow to the world. And this is the reason. And also, there is a very important reason, also on this, in addition, that is value creation. Because these mines, they are very competitive and they can create value. It means they are ready to grow, because in order to create value, you have to have a good business and the potential to grow. And these 2 mines, ArcelorMittal Mines Canada and ArcelorMittal Liberia, we have a good business, we have a good fundamentals with resource and reserve and the potential to grow. Then you have the best business.
Let's explore those mines in a bit more detail. Coming to you, Mapi. The mines in Canada have been in operation for quite some time now, for 50 years or so. Is there still a strong future for these mines?
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, 50 years of operation means we understand the area. We got good experience in operating in the Labrador Trough. But if you have to look at the future, you need to understand the footprint that we have in this region. Just to give you a brief summary, essentially we run 2 businesses. The mining businesses, which comprises 2 mines, a concentrator and a pellet plant, and the infrastructure business, which is the railway, a 420-kilometer railway that link the operations in the Fermont-Montreat region and our port in Port-Cartier. So having that such footprint, and the fact that we've been investing quite a lot of money in recent years to maintain this old infrastructure of over 50 years to make sure that it can run for longer. Coupled to that, we've recently managed to convince the government to include that iron ore, that high quality iron ore, in the list of mineral and critical and mineral strategic minerals, and that makes it a very attractive for us to be able to operate in that region. So the ore body is there. We can operate for at least the next 30 years economically. And for us, having to have this footprint, a good infrastructure where the company has invested a lot of money, and having to include this high purity iron ore in that list of critical mineral strategy, that gives us a bright future to continue operating for the next 50 years.
So you've got this incredible infrastructure in place, this footprint, as you say, you've got this political designation. Can you tell me about the growth plans then? Because I understand right now you're producing 25 million tons a year, is that right? But trying to push that out to 30 million tons. How do you increase efficiency and increase production to hit those targets?
So if you look at the growth plan, we've got really a big assets. We can go even bigger, but I think I'll call it the medium-term growth is basically to take us from 25 to 30 million. And what we're doing is not necessarily significant investment. It's really about improving our recovery. So when the mine was built in the 1970s, we only had one technology of spirals, and the spiral is not efficient to recover, all the granulometry, that you produce. So the finer particles, we tend to lose it to the tailings. Over the years, we've lost an incredible amount of iron ore to the tailings. So right now, our growth plan is really about making sure we are able to recover the maximum of that by introducing new technologies in our processing plant. It's not really new technologies, but it's just a new, we introduce things like hydraulic classifiers, that helps us to recover even more. So with those projects, and acceleration of some of our high quality areas, like Fire Lake, we are able to get to the 30 million ton quite comfortably. So that will be the first phase for us. But we got other ore body undeveloped, like the Montreat, which is a highly magnetite ore body that will require a different process. But that will look after after we've gone through this intermediate phase of expansion. So 30 million, it's achievable. The project is on the way. Like I say, it's not groundbreaking technology. It's been applied. It's a known technology. I would say almost off-the-shelf type of technology that we're going to introduce in our concentrator, and that will help us recover more and be able to go to the 30 million ton.
Product quality-wise, how are things progressing with the plan to increase the plant's DR pellet capacity, and how important a project is this for AMMC?
The project is extremely important for us because that's one of our key contribution towards the decarbonization of the steel industry. The more DR quality product we produce, the less the emission the steel producers will be able to do. So from our perspective, our ore body already prone itself for naturally producing this product. But to be able to increase the capacity, we needed to introduce the project on a flotation to be able to reduce the level of silica, which already is low, but to be able to make it for DR quality purposes. So the project is going very well. We got all the approval with the second AFE. We started already with the early works, and the civil work will continue now. Will start now in September, and we are still looking forward towards commissioning the project in Q4 2025, Q1 2026. So very important project for us. It will increase our capacity to produce the DR pellet. We will be among the biggest producer of DR pellet in the world.
I think it is important also to add, because it's not only, as Mapi said, only recover, is OE. We have to put the company, the ArcelorMittal Mines Canada, at the best standard in terms of the efficiency, because the growth will come from, as Mapi said, from the recover, but also from the more efficient at the mine, because we need to feed more. It means that utilization, availability, productivity at the mine are key for us. The base of growth in Canada is recovery and efficiency, and to improve the OE of the mine in order to achieve these 30 million tons and plus. Just to reinforce what Mapi just said.
Michiel, turning to you, the mines in Liberia are rather newer, going back to 2005, as I understand it, soon after the Civil War there. What's happened between then and now? And as I'm guessing you have, has ArcelorMittal had to invest beyond the mine to build up that business?
Absolutely. So by signing the Minerals Development Agreement, or MDA as we call it, for Tokade, Gangra and Uleton mines in 2005, ArcelorMittal was the first post-war multinational investor in Liberia, signaling to others that Liberia was open for business, I can say. In 2005, Liberia was emerging from a 14-year civil war conflict that had decimated the population and devastated the economy and the country's infrastructure, as we know. So over the past 19 years, ArcelorMittal have invested more than roughly $2.5 billion to reopen iron ore mines and rehabilitate the non-functioning infrastructure, which included then the Tokada to Buchanan railway. That was a major part of our investment. The Buchanan port, connecting roads and townships in Buchanan and Yekepa with houses, schools and hospitals, with power supply and sanitation. So AML reopened Liberia's mining industry in 2011, which was dormant for 2 decades, roundabout, and have also demonstrated unwavering commitment and support to the country in 2014 by remaining the only operation in an iron ore producer in the region, following the closures by others due to the Ebola and declining ore prices, I can say.
I mean, that's a pretty dramatic investment beyond the mine itself to make that a reality.
Absolutely, and it's continuing from here on, Tom, as you know.
So you've got a pretty major expansion project underway. What are the details? What are the targets? Where are you in that process?
So, Tom, the key components of the current phase 2 expansion, which is mostly the construction of the big concentrator plant, is, as I say, the concentrator as well, which is in Mount Tokade, which is close to where we mine. We're mining the three pits, or mountains, you call it, Mount Tokade, Mount Gangra, and Mount Uleton. As well as the expansion of the railroad from its current 5 million ton per annum capacity to a 30 million ton per annum capacity. The construction of ore handling and shipment facilities at the Buchanan ore port, that is a major investment that we're busy with. Ship loaders, stockpiles, re-handling facilities. So it's a major investment in the port that we're doing there. With all of this, there's a construction of power generation facilities and the expansion of the civil and engineering facilities with these operations. So AML expects the first 5 million ton per annum concentrator module to be commissioned in November, December this year. So the concentrator consists of 3 mills, which is linked to 3 modules all the way through this concentrator plant. So we're planning to, like I say, commission the first one in December 2024, beginning December actually, with the other 2 closely following and completed in April 2025 to take us to full production.
I was going to say, so the rest of the infrastructure will be in place to support that increased output then?
Absolutely. So with making allowance for the ramping up challenges, AML is committed to getting the concentrator to a full 15 million ton per annum capacity in 2026. So producing this 15 million ton of concentrate per year will require mining of approximately 27 million ton per annum of raw ore, which is a significant upscale from where we are now. Which will initially be supplied from all 3 of our deposits, Tokade, Gangra, and Uleton.
I just like to add about, because I think it's important in terms of history in Liberia. I think the history of Liberia that we have, ArcelorMittal, is a history of commitment with the country, commitment with the people, because we are there just after the Civil War, and we face a lot of challenges. We face the 2009 crisis in the world, and we were there. No one was. We faced the Ebola outbreak, as Michiel said, and we're the only company to stay there and to produce there. It means, I think, it's a history of value creation, but it's a history also commitment with the country, with the people, in order to really to have Liberia as one of the hub, one of the biggest iron ore operation in the world. And this I think is commendable. And I am really proud to be part of the history of this achievement.
Like steel production, mining is a business that clearly carries risks. How do you manage those risks to make it as safe as possible?
I think we have to work, as I always say, on the preventive actions, on the base of the pyramid, on the fatality prevention standards to be safe, zero harm forever. And we have some examples in the group that achieve more than 30 years without an incident. And these are the examples that we follow. Work preventively, work in the any risk I have to address the risk before it manifests, before it appears, before it hurts us. And that's the way to have a safe environment at the mines forever.
The question of safety, I think so much of that is about culture, as you said, and you've clearly got parts of the organisation where that culture of safety is deeply embedded. How do you go about sharing that and bringing that best practice across the world?
Exactly what we did. We brought the senior manager of Liberia of Canada to this mine in Brazil, that called Andrade, that has this record, and learn with them. And how they address the base of the pyramid, how they are ruthless against the risk, how they see a risk, they act, they see a risk and they act. And then you populate the base of the pyramid and never ever you have to regret an incident. This is the way that sometimes people say, I have to believe in zero. We are happy enough, we are good enough to see that it's not a matter of believe or not believe. We see it because we have an operation that achieve it. That for us it's a reality, that it will be a reality in Liberia, that it will be a reality in ArcelorMittal Mines Canada. Will be the first segment, the first mining in the world that will be zero forever, as Andrade is.
What's your outlook now for the mining business, Kleber? Do you see any major risks or upsides, for that matter, for investors in the near future?
I think we have a very robust growth plan in ArcelorMittal Mines Canada, as I said, with efficient recovery. Also Liberia to go from 5 to 15 and to third. We have a good base of resource in Canada and Liberia. We have the people, we have our people that deeply understand mining, that deeply understand safety in mining, that can deliver. And this is what I call the unbeatable combination. We have a good base of resource, the work of Mother Nature, and we have excellent people to deal with. Therefore, now we have to continue to grow, continue to be efficient, and have a work very hard, very smart in cost in order to be competitive and have the benefit of growth to dilute the fixed cost and to serve the world. We have a noble reason of being because as Michiel said, as Mapi said, our ore from Liberia and from Canada are high grade and then can help the humanity, can help the steel business to be a zero carbon footprint, to go towards it. And I think it's our commitment to create value, but also to contribute for a better world.
Fantastic. I think that's a great place to leave it. Thanks so much for joining me.